Welcome to your latest Microsoft Flight Sim news update. I'm Pilot Stud. Let's get right into the news. Blackbox Designs have announced their next project on the Microsoft Flight Sim forums, the Britten-Norman Trislander, a very quirky looking plane which I think is quite ugly, but a lot of people clearly want it from the comments on there. Codenamed Project Joey after the aircraft's call sign Golf Juliet Oscar Echo Yankee. This is basically the brother of the Islander aircraft. What separates it apart is a very unique propeller on the back or engine on the tail assembly, as you can see from this real life photo. Currently the project contains over 600,000 polygons for the interior model and 4K texture maps wherever possible. Blackbox Designs have already released the Islander and it was rather popular, however people did complain about the textures in places, so by the looks of it the team are going out of their way to combat this. We've only got one screenshot at the moment, that's in the cockpit, and what gives it away as the Trislander is the fact we've got a rear engine warning indicator up the top there. And of course the fact they confirm down below. It's an aircraft that used to see service to the likes of Jersey, Alderney and Guernsey, known as the Flying Land Rover purely because it's British and has awesome short takeoff and landing capabilities. I'm sure it will be a unique aircraft in a few people's hangars. I don't see it being everyone's type of aircraft, but if you want it, it's nice to see that it's being worked on. A unique aircraft, hopefully in our skies soon. Moving over to another vintage aircraft, Just Flight have shared some more screenshots of their Fokker F28 fellowship in Microsoft Flight Sim. We've got some more liveries showcased in these screenshots, all North American airlines, specifically Canadian Airlines, made in partnership with Time Air Historical Society, for of course Time Air. We've also got one from Ryzen, which is of course a US based airline, and I looked at this photo and honestly for a brief few seconds thought it was real life. Once you start staring at it you of course realise it's not, but it does look very good, which is why it's made the thumbnail. It looks awesome, and you know this aircraft won't be coming up for a while. We've got the BAE 146 before then. But it's nice to see this aircraft progressing well. Exterior model, I mean I would describe it as basically done now. And I think they already have done, they're now working on the interior. It looks really beautiful, any metallic livery always stands out, always looks very nice. And I'm sure many of you can't wait for it. Also love the rear speed brake, much like the BAE 146. It's called a clamshell because it pops out like a clamshell. And that's not even the best bit of news down here. If we go into the comments of these screenshots, Just Flight confirms that a 747 Classic, which is the first 747 over the 747-100 or 200, with of course the freighter variant in between there as well. They confirmed that they are working on this for Microsoft Flight Sim, as well as the A300, two classic airliners. But it's a long way off as yet, folks, because they're still working on it for P3D, but it's destined for Microsoft Flight Sim after they've released it, and seeing as they've entered beta on P3D, hopefully it shouldn't be too long, but they cannot provide timescales at this rate. I think that's very exciting, although quite underwhelming at the current moment because we don't know a lot about it. It's nice to hear that it's coming anyway. We now move over to a development team that are clearly putting a lot of TLC into this project, the Flight FX Cirrus Jet. This promises to be, I know it's a bit cliche, but a study level aircraft. They've released some screenshots on their Discord and blast me, it looks awesome. Now this is an aircraft I featured in a video before, quite recently as well, because they're actually very well incorporating real life aviation into this project, going around and actually flying in this aircraft, which by the way is not cheap to run. We get some external shots showing us the aircraft in its all black glory. And then we also get a look inside the cockpit. This is, I believe, the first time we can see inside the cockpit as opposed to that online interactive website, which I thought was great fun. But you can see they've already started working on getting some details in, such as the flap selector switch down there, and looking at the side stick. That's very well done as well. I don't know what you call the kind of like leather bag, I guess, under it. But that looks well modelled. It'll be interesting to see how that is kind of dynamic, how it moves in Microsoft Flight Sim eventually. It will be payware. In fact, all of the aircraft I've spoken about will be payware so far. But by the looks of it, it's going to work on it. This is version Alpha 1.2, and they were doing some test flights with it, so the aircraft is actually flying. Specifically looking at the flight model regarding elevator authority and flap handling. Once they've completed this round of alpha testing, the next round should include a nearly complete interior, as well as an aircraft in its first completed livery. I hope this team keep it up, it's looking really promising, and I've linked their Discord in the description. Now we move over to a potentially freeware Discord project that I stumbled across on YouTube just last night. The Alex Flies 777-300ER. Now we've got a short teaser video here, of which I'm playing on the screen now, and let me just say this project is clearly very early days, being worked on by a small team of developers. I have put a link to his Discord because I do believe it's always good to kind of expose them to other like-minded individuals, maybe get a few more people on board, but it's nice to see progress on this. We've had plenty of 777 projects kind of fizzle out before, so hopefully this one stays with us. I'm very much looking forward to keeping up with it. Clearly he's done a pretty good job on his own so far, and he's now building a developer team. I wish him all the luck with it. There we have it, guys. There is your Microsoft Flight Sim news update. I hope you've learned something. Go check out the sources in the description, and indeed join the Discords I've linked down below to stay up to date with any of these projects if you liked them. It's been a very kind of vintage orientated video today, taking a look at aircraft like the F28 and Trislander, and also the hinted A300 and 747 Classic, but of course we've got the slightly more modern Flight FX, Cirrus Jet and 777-300 extended range. From me today, be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed. Last thing I want to say is a big thank you to my first class channel members. They get a shout out on the screen right now, but from me today that is all. I'll see you around. Bye bye.